This is Mac OS Ken.
Catching up on a week of Wall Street, Apple prices iPhone to move in China, and 10 years of Apple Music. It is Tuesday, the 1st of July, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSCan. Notes on Apple from a bear and two bulls last week. Mac Daily News ran a piece last Thursday that had Barclays bear Tim Long saying Apple has basically got nothing left in the tank. Perhaps you are thinking, what about iPhone? Yeah, iPhone is X growth in Long's estimation. Investors need to pay more attention to that, according to the analyst, who spent last week's note highlighting stagnating demand and market saturation as significant hurdles. Okay, I pretend to hear you say, but what about services? Those are very concentrated and at risk, according to Long. That segment of Apple's business is vulnerable to competitive pressures on one side and regulatory pressures on the other. Maybe you're wondering about Apple's other products. The way Long sees it, no other products besides iPhone matter for the stock. With that, the firm sticks with its underweight rating on Apple shares and its price target of $173. Apple shares open today at $205 and change. Still bullish, though, perhaps with a dose of realism, as JP Morgan analyst Samik Chatterjee. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote late last week, wherein he kept an overweight rating on Apple shares while giving his target a $10 haircut. If I'm reading his note correctly, he and his have lowered their sales expectations for this fall's round of iPhones thanks to recent pull ahead of consumer demand. Remember all that tariff-inspired panic buying that everyone but Apple execs called tariff-inspired panic buying? Chatterjee and crew think that they may have put a damper on sales of the iPhone 17 line, or whatever this fall's iPhones end up being called. That said, the fall of 2026 is going to be off the hook, which is appropriate since we're talking about phones. Quoting his note, our more bearish view in relation to the volume outlook for iPhone 17 series is in conjunction with our unchanged expectations for a stronger cycle in iPhone 18 series with the launch of a foldable smartphone, as well as further progress in relation to AI features that have been long awaited and delayed relative to initial investor expectations. Not that it's all awful between now and then. Chatterjee says Apple's also expected to benefit from consumer subsidies in China. Mac Rumors cited a piece from the South China Morning Post midweek last week that had Apple joining China's National Digital Product Subsidy program through its own direct sales channels for the first time. That'll let eligible customers in Beijing and Shanghai receive government-backed discounts on select iPhones, iPads, Apple Watches, and Macs. Folks in Shanghai can get the discount by shopping at one of Apple's 8 stores in the city. Buyers in Beijing can get the discount by shopping at Apple's online store, provided they have a Beijing shipping address. It's likely worth the trouble. The piece says the program offers subsidies of up to 2,000 yuan, approximately $278 US, on certain Apple products, with eligibility criteria determined by product type and price. It's interesting that JP Morgan's Chatterjee thinks that this could move the needle on iPhone sales in the Middle Kingdom. Mac Rumor says subsidy pricing was already available through authorized third-party platforms such as JD.com and Alibaba's Taobao marketplace. Still, lower prices, more places. And isn't it more fun to buy directly from Apple? Wrapping Mr. Chatterjee's note, he maintains an overweight rating on Apple shares. He has dropped his price target on the shares, though, from $240 to $230. There are rumors aplenty around Apple and AI. One has Apple execs thinking about letting OpenAI or Anthropic power Eerie, say. Apple's virtual assistant, you know the one I'm talking about. You are welcome to hunt those rumors up if you like. The other rumor has Apple either partnering with or buying Perplexity AI, an idea that makes BofA analyst Wamsi Mohan all kinds of tingly. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote late last week. According to that, Mr. Mohan sees several pros and several cons to such a tie-up. Pros include state-of-the-art AI, access to talent and AI expertise, a virtual assistant that's better than Eerie, say, keeping Perplexity out of anybody else's hands, having a hedge against the potential loss of the Google default payments deal, and Apple being its own AI boss, assuming we're talking about a purchase, not a partnership. Cons seen by Mr. Mohan include maybe having trouble merging Perplexity and Eerie, say. Perplexity talent could take a hike. There are legal and regulatory risks. There's potential harm to the existing Apple and Google relationship, and still other cons. While the analyst is clear-eyed about potential risks, he seems more turned on by potential rewards. Mr. Mohan maintains a buy rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $235. With DC's Superman and Marvel's Fantastic Four still to come, Apple may not have this summer's only blockbuster, but it does have a summer blockbuster. A piece from TechCrunch says the Brad Pitt racing flick F1 The Movie was number F1 at the box office over the weekend. It's estimated to have racked up $144 million in ticket sales worldwide, with $55.6 million spent here in the States. Critics seem to have settled on liking the film, giving the movie an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences like it a lot more. They give it a 97%. Based on the number of theaters passed on the road trip I took last week, I feel comfortable saying, at least here in the US, F1 The Movie is now playing everywhere. And finally today, yesterday marked a milestone for Apple Music. iDownload blog says Monday was the 10th anniversary of the Cupertino audio streamer becoming a thing. Want to hear what you've been hearing all these years? The company has launched a dynamically updated personalized playlist called Replay All Time. Personally, I wonder about the accuracy of the list. Let me tell you why. I love the band Madness. Listen to them quite a bit. I was not the least bit surprised to find the song Disappear by Madness on my Replay All-Time list. It's one of those songs that, when I think about it, I end up listening to it 2 or 3 times in a row. I do not know the song C'est la vie by Madness. It's off a relatively recent album by the band that I've always meant to listen to, but never have. And yet, there is that song on my list of forever songs, higher than Disappear. I like CeeLo Green, but I have literally never listened to the Lady Killer theme, intro, which is on my list. I listen to the Def Leppard song Animal more frequently than you might imagine, but never the live version, which is the version that is turned up on my list. Over on Mastodon, Lone Locust was incredulous, let's say, when he found Barry Manilow on his list. And the special lady friend? She found her list topped by the Meatloaf song Bat Outta Hell, which is hilarious because while that is not one of her favorite songs, she knows exactly how that happened. Well, not exactly, but mostly. Somehow, one time, that song ended up playing on her iPhone on repeat. But the volume was down, and she had no idea it was happening. She does not know how that happened, but it went on for so long that it ended up being the top song in her replay list for whatever year that was. And now, it is her top song of all time. All that said, most of the songs on my list make sense to me. Which is to say, I know how most of them got there. If you want to hear what has filled your ears from Apple Music for the last decade, open the app and hit the home button, and it should be the first thing you see. macOS Can, brought to you by me, and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOScan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOScan at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macoscan.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.